Hi, I'm Rhonda of Adventures in Nomadness, and where's Angie? She's behind the camera. And why am I standing here? Because I don't have any chocks and I'm holding an RV. That's why it's important to know what you need when you set out for your first camping trip after leaving the RV lot. Stay tuned. Well, I'm not really holding the RV. That wouldn't be a good idea with the amount of weight this thing has. And we were prepared when we set out because we have some experience.
And we want you to be prepared too.
Right.
So this is our list of the things you absolutely have to have your very first camping trip. So the additional things that we had to buy to make sure we were well prepared for our first weekend of camping is Chocks. Chocks is probably the number one thing you have to have right up front. Along with Chocks, we also have some pads over here. Pads are great for leveling. Those are great because you can stack them up and level from side to side if you need to. You're gonna have to have a water hose. So get yourself a good water hose. We have 2 of them. This is obviously a must-have if you want water the first night. So we have a coiled one, which is really great because it packs down really small. Get yourself a filter. And we have this really nice L adapter right here, which is really great. The other thing that's really truly must-have is some sort of pressure regulator. This one I believe is set to 40 psi. They make better ones that we may actually upgrade to because they'll have an adjustable thing on there so you can adjust what you want there. The other thing you must have is the surge protector. We actually have a hardwired surge protector on the Escape, but this is really nice to be able to test the pedestal up front. So you can see with our green indicators here, this power on, all good there, but it gives you these different lights if it's messed up. One thing that's really important to have up front, or at least within the first 60 miles, is a really good torque wrench. I bought this one at Harbor Freight for a good price. I also have a 13/16 socket here for that, so I've got this set to 90 foot-pounds right now. And we're gonna go ahead and do our 180 mile torque. Woo! Also get yourself a good tire gauge right up front. We found that on the aft left tire of the Escape, it was really high. So check your tire pressure before you even take delivery of it across the border and adjust that as needed. These are supposed to be set to 50. Could use a little bit of air. An absolute must is gloves. You have to have gloves.
Some people use rubber gloves that they reuse, but we like the throwaway.
You also should have one of these L connectors, the donut. So I highly recommend, because we got the really kind of cheapo one from Escape that we upgraded. We bought a Rhino sewer and it came with this. So I would upgrade to the Rhino, so it's a lot easier to use. So one of those extra things that are going to be nice to have that's going to make your life easier and more fun while you're out with your RV. Get yourself a good electrical cord extension. So I think this is an extra 25 feet or so. So that's at least 15 feet. Anyway, some RV parks have a really long space between the pedestal, the electrical pedestal, and your connector. So having an extra one, and that goes along with an extra water hose because the same thing, you might be a little far from where the water source is. Viair. You know, we have spent just a little, we went cheap a few times on an air compressor that wasn't very good. and they tend to blow the fuses. So get yourself a really good bi-air. These are invaluable. So unless you want to call roadside assistance when you have a flat or a low tire, who wants to do that when you can do it on your own? This is the way to go. This one is one for RV, so it has a really long extension that goes all the way from the truck battery all the way back to the axles back here. So it's nice and long and is perfect for that. Some other nice to haves is a 30 amp, because these are 30 amp, but sometimes you might potentially get stuck with a 50 amp. So this will hook you up with a 50 amp pedestal. Hey, a couple other nice to have things are a water Bandit. So this will just hook up right up to the water spigot, and then you can fill your tank with a small hose, which we still need to get. And then this is really cool too, because this will hook up to the water connection, and then you hook up your water for your RV on one end, and you still have access to some water if you need some outside. A super nice thing to have is these Chocks. So this keeps everything, really more stable inside. You don't ever want to use these in place of regular Chocks. Matter of fact, there's a big warning right in the box when you're first opening it up that you don't hook up your vehicle with these installed. So make sure we always uninstall these when we pick up the stabilizer jacks in the back and the front. But these are nice. I can tell a difference when we're inside. There's a little bit less rocking, back and forth and front if we're walking around inside the RV. Kind of heavy, but they're actually really nice. Couple things I highly recommend getting sooner than later is locks. If you're going up to pick your RV up, depending, even if you have a different style, get a couple of locks for the front box here. For ours, we got those right away because we got some, outside stuff in there that we want to keep. Highly can't recommend enough buying a really good Hitch Lock. This is a proven industry, and honestly, these are not cheap, but I think they're worth every single cent. If you go to YouTube and you look up, ways people break locks off of hitches, there's a lot of cheaper locks out there that you can just crowbar right off. It's pretty frightening. These, I don't remember how much it was. We were fortunate. We actually had this for our little tiny tag, teardrop, and fortunately this is the same type, so we didn't have to rebuy it. The tags are obviously super easy to steal, but people have their travel trailers stolen all the time. So I highly recommend this and wheel lock as well. Also, get some wheel covers. The sun is shining on our wheels right now, and definitely recommend having some wheel covers. Matter of fact, we've seen most full timers with wheel covers, when they're here for a couple weeks. These just slip right on over. Protects your wheels from those UV rays. Hey, another thing we totally recommend is some blocks of wood. You never know if you get stuck or if you need to use these for chocks. Just some extra blocks hanging around. You never know, you might need them. Make sure you have a shovel as well, because you never know if you're going to get stuck. We intend on doing quite a bit of boondocking next winter. We saw some people at the RTR have some difficulties in the rain. Shovel would have helped them out quite a bit because they did sink in. So get yourself some shovel and some good blocks. Hey, and those right there are some awning straps. It's just a little bit of an extra security for your awning when you're going down the road, just to make sure it doesn't pull out.
So if you happen to be a lucky owner of an Escape RV, chances are you'll get some things thrown in when you buy. I'm going to show you what we got. You'll want to check in advance to see what you might get, so that you don't have to buy it and then find out you're going to get two of them. No, that didn't happen to us. So it starts with a blowout plug. You use these for winterizing. They gave us one of these. You also get a 30 amp to 15 amp converter plug. This is really handy for plugging it at home. You also get a cable. If you choose to have your power cable disconnected instead of built in, you'll get this. If you choose to have an external shower, you'll get one of these quick disconnect hoses and a sprayer. Now we replaced the sprayer, the standard sprayer that you get, which is metal. It's really simple, with something that actually adjusts. If you get the quick disconnect propane, you also get the cable for it that attaches. They also throw in a really basic sewer hose. Notice no connection. So yes, this will connect to your RV, but you will be standing over the drain holding this in while it drains. Not so good. So at a minimum, you're going to want something to connect to this or get something better, which is what we ended up doing. For your awning, you get an awning pull, and for your stabilizer jack, you get a hand crank. That concludes our review of the things that we think you must have and the things that are very helpful to make it easier to go camping.
So we'd love to hear what your must-haves for camping and your nice-to-haves are. So please leave a comment below. We would love to hear any additions to what we've already had here. And if you like this video, please give us a big thumbs up and hit that subscribe button and that notification bell, and you'll be notified when we have our next videos out. Happy travels.
Happy travels.
So what are the nice-to-have things to have that are going to make your life more fun and easy? Get yourself a good extension hose. Fucking hose. What a fucking hose. Why do I keep doing that? Do that last time.
I'm an airplane mechanic and
I can't even say electrical cord colored hose. Yeah, man.